Dr. Gupta, can you just introduce yourself for everyone here for our Fox 17 audience?
I'm Dr. Nidhi Gupta, pediatric endocrinologist here in
Between
Nashville,
two
screen time
fidelity counselors, it's
researcher,
a major
best-selling
chance
author
that
of the
somebody
book
could sleep
Calm the
this summer.
Noise, and founder of Freedom Foundation, a non-profit organization dedicated to raising awareness about screen time, helping us find joy in the offline life.
Definitely. So you have a big event coming up on next week about putting the phones down during mealtime. Before that, I want to something that just popped in my mind. I mean, school's getting out for so many of these kids, right? And if there's not a lot of stuff to do and they
Yes.
have a phone, they go to the phone. If there's nothing to do, they go to the phone. What's some advice to parents or even if a kid's watching this out there?
Okay.
When they
No,
have
no, no,
nothing
no,
to
no.
do, they go to the phones. So the question is, what can we give them that is better than the phones that will pull them towards it so they are not pulled towards the phone? Why are they pulled towards the phone? It is because of that constant stimulation, the dopamine hits that keeps them hooked, that keeps them engaged. That is how the content is developed to maximize user engagement. Instead of those dopamine hits, if we are able to fill their time with serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphins, the mood lifting hormones, the need for dopamine minimizes. The question is, where do we get those mood lifting hormones from? We get them from movement, from sunlight, from nature, from laughter, from sports, from family connections. So this summer, I invite parents to reflect on their own childhood. What did they do when they were bored and did not have screens to rescue them from boredom? We rode our bikes, we walked the neighborhood, we created forts, we were creative without being constantly stimulated. Nowadays, children are living in this constant dopamine loop with short videos and reels and social media. Summer is an opportunity to
It's
slow that down
devastating.
and take some of their time, some of their offline joy back.
Tradition sells, nostalgia sells. It's not necessarily selling right now to the younger
My brother is a
generation.
transport line. Trust
Is it
number
because they're not being offered it, or is it because they're
800.
so addicted to some of these apps?
It's a little
Exceedingly
bit of both.
annoying,
Okay.
The
particularly
second
when
option is more powerful driver. They are so addicted to some of these apps. However, the tide is turning. It is turning slower than what I would like it to, but it is turning. There are teens and young adults who are now leaning towards adopting a 90s low tech life. They are curious and asking their parents, what did you do when you were in this situation? What did you do over break? What did you do on long plane flights? A lot of kids are leaning towards going back to flip phones and low tech devices. They're asking for Walkmans, if you still remember what those were. They're asking for what is that? The music thing. I'm forgetting the name.
Like Rhapsody or one of those.
Some of those,
The
and
Nano, the
radio.
iPod Nano,
The
maybe.
iPods,
Yep.
the iPods, that
Yep.
is the word I was looking for.
Yep.
The iPods, and they're asking for more books, less screens. They're asking for good old conventional TV rather than streaming channels that are loaded with dopamine, where frames are constantly changing every
Yep.
2 to 3 seconds. I think they are tired of being online all the time. I think they are tired of meeting the unrealistic expectations that social media is setting them up for.
And what are the consequences of somebody that doesn't even, whether they know they're tired of it or somebody that doesn't know, isn't tired of it? They're still scrolling. What are the consequences both of those ways?
I'm seeing those consequences play out in my clinic every single day. I'm seeing significant impact on children's physical health, mental health, emotional health, their relationship with their peers and their families. Patients in my clinic have bed sores from being sedentary for hours after school, immersed in their VR world. They are mindlessly scrolling social media, especially girls, and the social media feed is telling them what they should eat in a day, how they can look pretty, how can they be desirable, and it is impacting them. It is leading to development of eating disorders. Children are staying up late into the night, watching shorts and reels, and even YouTube Kids, and playing video games. They have a hard time making it to school. They have a hard time getting through classes. It is impacting their whole development. And this is not just limited to Tennessee. We are seeing this play out all over the world. Children are so engrossed in their online life, they have become addicted to their screens in ways that we have never imagined before.
Yeah, and off of that as well, like the consequences you were just mentioning, I forget where I was going with this because you there's a lot in here, which is great, but um I don't know where I was going, but I think I was gonna say,
You do.
starts at the
You
dinner table is what you're trying to do with this event next week.
Absolutely. It starts with the
Trying to
dinner
solve it,
tables.
that is. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if it will solve it, but it will
Okay.
hopefully give families an experience of what it feels like to separate ourselves from our devices, even briefly. Maybe that will help us realize what we are missing in the offline world. One of the simplest and the most powerful ways to reduce our collective screen time is to remove screens from meals. Because if we think about it, mealtime is not just a place to consume food. That is where emotions are processed. That is where we talk about, hey, how was your day? What did you do? Did something unpleasant happen during the day? Let's talk about it. We build connections. But when phones and other screens and even TV enters mealtime, all of those connections quietly disappear,
One
And
which
and
is
I
why
feel like
we
I
get
do a
anxiety.
story every Thanksgiving on I just try to pick the best soundbite of someone explaining why Thanksgiving is more important than, obviously the mashed potato and gravy is delicious, but it's coming together, right?
It is coming
Yep.
together. It's coming together for those 60 minutes or maybe 90 minutes of a meal time to
Yep.
help us realize what are we missing in the offline life.
And I know where I was going with my last one, so I'm going to backtrack for a second here.
Go ahead.
When people are scrolling, and this is part of what leads to some of the, say, eating disorders, is they get a targeted ad about some of the stuff out there that some countries adults don't even get those ads, and now the kids are getting these ads. What is the impact of that?
The algorithms have become smarter and they
Yeah.
know exactly what their user likes, what keeps their user engaged. The algorithms also figure out the age of the user to a very precise degree. And then to they feed them content that they feel the user will like. It basically shapes the personality of the user. Instead of curating for themselves what they would like to watch and consume, the algorithms are telling them what they should watch and consume. It shapes their relationships with the rest of the world. It shapes how they think about, let's say, life, about career, about politics, about friendships, about people and speak and talk like them. It leads to intolerance. It leads to putting us in what I call a filter bubble, where we are only connecting with people who think like us, talk like us, behave like us, and believe like us. It leads to a lot of polarization and unpleasantness in real life.
I literally the word polarized came to my mind before you said it there. It's how people get so far on one or the other sides of the aisle and stuff like that and then maybe you are on two sides of the aisle, but you can't be friends with that person. There's no connection or respect at times there as we've seen. So you got this event going on. Can we plug all the details of this event at pharmacy, which I mean it's on. Okay, I'm gonna say a bad example here, but when you see top five burger spots pop up when you're scrolling, it's often on there. But forget about that. That's obviously what came to my mind because I'm not gonna say victim. I'm a culprit of this as well. You know.
Yes, absolutely. So let's join us on May 27th, Wednesday from 5 to 9 p.m. at the Pharmacy Burgers East Nashville location for what I think is simple yet very powerful. Come for a meal, put your phones away, and get free ice cream in return. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely, Dr. Gupa, thank you very much. We're gonna wrap this up now. We will see you next week, or we'll be everyone will see you out there at pharmacy, and we're gonna do a few stories on this. Hopefully on the event itself, and then some of that summer advice you had. We're gonna definitely push that out there, and I hope we can connect again soon.
Sounds great, wonderful. Let me know if any more questions related to screens or bell-to-bell phone-free policy at school or educational technology, which is one-to-one laptops in school. That is something that is my priority at this time.
Hmm.
With summer around the corner, A lot of school administrations are looking at their curriculums for the next academic year,
Hmm.
and we are putting together an open letter to school administrators to reassess the role of educational technology in classrooms. And just for context, educational technology has two components, Johnny. First one is the hardware, which is the laptops and the iPads. The second one is the software, which are all of the ed tech platforms.
Hmm.
So there are massive concerns about both of those with privacy, with data collection of students. Data is sold to third parties for monetization. Children are able to access in age inappropriate content, including pornographic content on school issued devices.
Hmm.
And worst, there is plenty of research that tells us that reading and learning and writing online is not better than paper and pen. In fact, it is worse than paper and pen.
Well, and then if you're talking about curriculums, I mean, so many of these systems tell me that they're implementing AI, left and right too.
And we have no evidence to prove that AI driven personalization is improving learning.
Hmm. Gotcha. All right, let's talk about that again. A whole different combo. That'll be coming up, guys. Dr. Gupta,
Sounds good.
thanks so much.
Thank you, Johnny. Bye.